Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to change the oil on this David Brown 885. This is the transmission oil we're looking at here. This is the sump where the oil filter goes, and there's a drain plug on the side of it here, and there's a drain plug back there that we also have to drain oil out of because of the way the axle is and the castings are. You get to drain oil out of two places to get it all out. What I would recommend, unless you have a great big oil drain pan, get yourself like one of the 40 or 50 some gallon juice barrels and cut it off, I don't know, about that high off the floor. Whatever you have room to get in underneath the tractor with, because these hold more than 5 gallons of oil. If they have water in them like this one does, it's more than 5 gallons. And a 5-gallon bucket doesn't fit under here. Unless you have one on really, really big tires like our high clearance one, you can get a 5-gallon bucket under it. But a normal standard height tractor, you cannot get a 5-gallon bucket under it. And if you've got water in there, there's probably more than 5 gallons of stuff going on in there. First thing we're going to do, pop this drain plug loose, catch all the oil out of here. Then we'll go to the back drain plug. While the back one's draining, I'll be popping these bolts out around this sump, I guess they call it. And that way we can change the filter while it's draining what's left back there. Alright, now that we got the oil drained out, the front one's still trickling a little bit. I got the back one drained as well, and cleaned the drain plug up, put it back in, snugged it up. Back one is 1 5/16". I actually had to use the 3/4 inch drive ratchet because that's what size socket I had that would fit it. There's a lot of oil there, and it's not looking real good. As you can see, it's milkshake looking. This tractor, I went to move it when it was about 10 degrees outside, and the loader didn't want to lift, and the hydraulics sounded very angry. And come to find out, well, it's got water in it again. This is one we bought. It had been sitting in a trade-in lot at a dealership for a long time. We bought it at an auction when they cleaned out their trade-in lot, and it had been sitting outside for a long time, had a lot of water in the transmission. But we've got it mostly cleared out, but every now and again we like to change the oil because occasionally it does have to sit outside for various operations we're doing with it, or we don't have shed space. So it does pick up a little bit of water that way, but there's still a little bit of residual water from it sitting outside for many years. And eventually the oil turns like that, the filter gets clogged up, and your hydraulics don't work. Or when it's cold, it gets ice in there, and then nothing works. So I'm going to drop the filter here and show you what's going on in there, how all that works. And the pickup in this one, I believe, is bent. So I'm going to show you a trick with the filter on how to make it work still. So after a lot of fighting, I got that filter housing off there. There was a lot of silicone on there, and it did not want to come loose. There's that pickup tube I was talking about. It doesn't look bad, strangely. I think it's moved over a little bit from where it's supposed to be, but it's not bad. There's the filter. If you notice, all those bends in the fins are from it trying to suck through the filter. Ooh, that's not good. There's a bunch of fine little bits of garbage in the bottom of there, in that screen, which are probably bits of the filter that have flaked off because it got wet, and cardboard does not like water. And so it was trying to suck through that screen and squish the filter this way, and that's why it's all misshapen like that. So I cleaned the pan out, I cleaned the screen out, I put the new filter in. Before you put this on, take your screen, press it into your filter. Take your filter and press it up into your pickup tube. And make sure it'll stay there and sit in there pretty good. And it's got to stay there long enough for you to get this bolted on, or at least up in there holding it. That little dent there actually sits on the screen and holds it up in. In this particular case, this tractor, that pickup tube was bent a little bit, so the filter was a little bit crooked in there. Once they get bent, they will not straighten back out. Like, I was in there with an 18-inch long screwdriver prying on it, and it wouldn't go back. So What I'm able to do though is I can put the filter in there and the screen in there, and tightening this up, it pushes it back straight a little bit because this pushes the bottom up and kind of brings it back. Let's say your pickup tube was bent up. There is a way, and when I find a tractor that requires that, I will make sure and film it for you guys. There is a way to actually stretch the bell shape with the O-ring. There's a way to stretch that up more so it'll reach up into the transmission further to reach that pickup. It involves a big socket and a hammer and some other stuff. I'll show you that when I run across one that needs it. This one didn't need it. So I snapped the filter up in, snapped the screen into it. I had to scrape all the silicone off. I have the real gasket in there, but I took it and put a thin layer of silicone on the top of the gasket and between the gasket and the sump pan here. Because these are notorious for getting slow leaks on them. This one is strangely not that bad. As you can see, there's very little oil residue down here. Some of them, this is all packed full of like mixture of oil and dust. Like this stuff here, just a thin layer of like grease with the oil and dust mixed in it. Some of the tractors I've run across are just packed full of it. I also put a little bit of silicone on that drain plug back there, and I snugged it back up. So, because they will leak sometimes too, and I don't have a crush washer for that. I don't remember if those are supposed to or not. It didn't have one on it. This one did have a crush washer, so it looked pretty good, so I put it back in. Next order of business here is to take the fill plug out of the top, and I'm only going to pour a gallon of oil in. That'll be enough to get oil to there and into here. And that way, if I have a leak, I don't have to drain the whole bucket back out to fix it. I can just drain a gallon out into a small pan and catch it, fix whatever my leak is, whether it's the plug, whether it's a piece of dirt that got in here and the gasket's not sealing good. Maybe that plug's not snugged up the whole way. You know, that way, whatever problem you may have, you don't have to drain all your oil out to fix it. That's going to be the next thing. That is the bag that the filter gasket came in. It's a 9110 from Agriline Products in England. I have my paper towels and stuff in here. I don't have a sticker on the bag that the filter was in. But that is the gasket there. That's what it was. So now we're up on top. There's the dipstick. We're going to need that. That's the fill plug. Not the easiest to get to place. However, it is better than some of the earlier tractors that it's between the gear sticks. On the 6 speeds and the 3-stick 12 speeds, like my 780 is, I believe the plug is in between the sticks. I know one of the ones I did recently, the plug is in between the sticks, and it's a pain to fill. You got to have a long funnel and like dump the oil down through the steering wheel to get to it. This one's not so bad if you have the right funnel. You can actually fit the bucket in between here, so it's not so bad. This takes 1/2 inch square. Now you're going to say, I don't have a 1/2 inch square. Well, neither do I, but I've got a ratchet and an extension. And if you clean all the dirt out of the bottom of that, which it probably has in it, it'll work a lot better for you. So, plugs out. You may have to try, I had to go to the ratchet from the extension because the ratchet has a much squarer corner on it than the extension does. You may have to play around with which ratchet you use, but something will work. I'll get my funnel here. I'm going to clean that out first. Sorry, I lied. The bucket won't quite fit in there. You will have to dump it from the top into the funnel. If you have a friend who's a bartender and is good at pouring stuff, you might want to get a hold of them to help you pour the oil in there, because this is kind of a stunt. Or you can rig up something like this if you don't have a super long funnel. So I have a small funnel, I have a piece of pipe, I have another funnel, and I'm going to stand up here while my friend holds the piece of pipe for me and the funnel steady, and we're going to get some oil in there. So, as to the fill plug, snug it back up. You don't want it super tight because it is a tapered pipe plug, I'm pretty sure. And as you tighten that up, it's like a wedge. And if you over tighten it, you can actually split this casting, which is a lot of work to change, especially when you're just trying to do your transmission oil, and now you got to put a whole new top cover on it. you just want to be careful with that. I've got a fairly big ratchet here, just a couple finger snug on it. The next thing you're going to do is replace these, because these not being in good shape can put all that water in there. A lot of that water was residual water from when this sat at the trade-in lot at the dealership it was at, and it sat outside uncovered for a decade or more. So it had a lot of water, and we've changed the oil a couple times on it, and it's getting better every time. But you want to keep these in good shape. I don't have a set to put on this right at the moment today, but I will get this fixed and help minimize that problem in the future. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like what you see, make sure you like the video and hit the subscribe button if you want to see more stuff like this. I have a series of David Brown troubleshooting videos coming up. And as always, if you guys want to see something specific, let me know, and I'll do my best to make it happen. So thanks for watching, and hope this helped.